I was a junior in high school, and my mother and I were hiding out in a hotel in a nearby town from her abusive husband. He had assaulted her in a violent rage a couple of days prior, in front of his family even, and the cops hadn't caught him yet, and I was out of town at the time. We didn't tell anybody exactly where we were, just that we were in a hotel. So, on the second night, my mom and I were just hanging out when suddenly the hotel phone started to ring. We both looked at each other and my heart dropped. She muted the TV and we just sat and watched the phone ring until it just stopped. We waited a moment before my mom called the front desk. The room was so quiet I could hear the conversation.
Hi, I was wondering if I had just received a phone call? Yes, you did. Was it a man? Yes. Did he have an accent? Yes, a Texan.
She looked at me for a moment.
Where did the call come from? Another room in the hotel.
We immediately had the front desk call the police. While we waited for them to show up, we hid between our two beds. We were on the first floor and had no idea where he was, if he knew where we were, or if he had a shotgun that we knew he had access to. Police came quickly and arrested him in a room above and two rooms down from where we were. He had been texting my mom that night creepy things about our cars and how we were trapped idiots. He also had been calling the front desk to get them to come to our door so he could find us. The hotel was built with an interior balcony so you could see the first floor from the second. This whole evening, still to this day, gives me shivers. I used to work in retail, and we had a gentleman who worked there who was around 50 years old. He was a bit on the strange side, but always chipper and a fantastic salesman. I was standing at the register one night, and it was dead. No one even in the store. I get a call and hear really heavy breathing until I hear a really faint laugh and what sounds like running water. I ask if I can help the caller, and they just hang up. Almost as soon as I turn around from the phone, thinking how weird was it, it rings again. So I pick up, and on the other line is my co-worker, laughing, and I hear the same sound of the running water. I ask him if I can help him or what's going on, and he is noticeably slurring his words, rambling about divorce, how he hates his kids, and his life. I just keep trying to talk to him, and he starts yelling out to someone, either in the room or at me, that he needs more alcohol, because it's starting to hurt. He tells me to check the schedule for next week, to see when he comes in, and I tell him his next shift, and I hear this maniacal yet terrified laugh, and something to the effect of, well, I'll be calling in sick that day. It struck me as odd, so I ask him where he is, and what he's doing, and he tells me that he ran off to some motel, and he slashed his wrists in the bathtub. I'm 16 and freaking the fuck out at this point, so I nervously tell my manager, and he takes the phone from me, and he's trying to talk him down while I call 999 with my cell phone. They got to the motel, but they were too late. It was easily the creepiest, but also saddest moment, all in one. So I got this call from a drunk girl at 3 a.m., thinking I was her boyfriend, and begging me to come pick her up from the bar. I tried to explain to her that she had the wrong number, but she thought I was lying. She was convinced that I was her boyfriend, and that I was mad at her for something she never really would disclose. She kept apologizing over and over, and even started crying for a second, all the while professing her undying love for me. I was living with roommates at the time, and I woke them up to listen. We had a good laugh over it for a bit. We were on the phone, but I actually ended up driving to the bar and taking her home. She was so obliterated that she didn't even think twice about me being a stranger and asking her to get in my car. Luckily, I'm not a serial killer or rapist or any sort of bad guy who throws chicks into holes in my basement and makes them rub lotion on their skin or anything. I was able to get a real boyfriend's number out of her, call the dude, explain very carefully what had happened, hoping that he wouldn't rage out and want to fight me over driving his girl home. Despite whatever problems they were having, he showed up and told me that her mother had just died of cancer, and she was very upset. She had thought he became mad at her when she had asked to be alone for a while to mourn, when, truthfully, he was very upset as well, because he was going to ask her to marry him, and had just asked her parents for permission, knowing that her mother was soon to pass away. He thought this would give the mother a super amount of joy, and hopefully let her pass knowing that her daughter was loved and would be taken care of. The guy started tearing up and put a hand on my shoulder, saying, "This is probably one of the most awkward moments I will ever have to say I dealt with, and I'm sorry you had a front row seat for it, but you are a very good person, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for bringing my future wife home safe and sound so that I don't have to say goodbye to another wonderful woman." At this point, I was at a loss for words. I mean, how strange can a simple wrong number call get? But the silver lining is that I possibly could have helped save a life, or more, by not letting that girl drive home herself, and also possibly saved a relationship by trying to do what I thought was the right thing. I'm not sure as far as ethics are concerned, but I don't regret that night. Her boyfriend's number was one digit different than mine. I almost jokingly tell myself, one digit can save a life.
Sam? No, you've got the wrong number? How do I know that for sure? What? How do I know for sure that this isn't Sam? Um, I. I don't know. If you're not Sam, tell me. If last year when summer rolled around, did we get together to lick the sweat off each other's bodies? Did we bathe in the perspiration of one another, whilst I ran my callous hand down your abdomen and through your tangled underpants afro? Did we laugh together at the memory of our times masturbating together to Dragon Erotica and spit roast a Godzilla hand puppet that we got from a McDonald's Happy Meal in the late 90s when that god awful Godzilla movie with Matthew Broderick came out? Your rock hard erection was in the mouth, whilst my fire poker was in the hole where a hand is supposed to go. Did it happen? Not Sam. Tell me, did it happen? No. You're right. You're not Sam. Bye.